What is up, Steeler Nation? We are back Tuesday, as always, with the Chris Wormley and Friends Show, number 95 on the field and number 1 in our heart. I'm JY. This is the Steelers Crazy Podcast, a sick media production. I'm here with my compadre, Michael. How you been? What's new? We're going to talk some Steelers football with the Steeler himself, Chris Wormley.
I'm good. I'm happy to be here, of course. I got a little half and half going on. I got a t-shirt and a beanie. I think I was getting a little crap for that before the show, probably well deserved. Switching up the wardrobe over here, hoping to see me on a runway one day, maybe a fashion show coming forward. Maybe we can you've done the Steelers fashion show before, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about those experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I used to, back in my younger days, I used to do fashion shows. I was more on the musical side, but I walked the runway a few times. But yeah, man, it's good. I think that that look right there, you need to be on the runway. It's like I guess you're getting too famous on Twitter now that you look like a celebrity that's trying not to be identified. So
Please,
I think it's a good. I think it's a
I
good
look like
look
I should
for
be
you.
on a milk carton.
All right, Sammy, let's just get to it, man. We have a lot to talk about. All as always, this is the Chris Wormley and Friends Show. Let's do it.
It was Wormley who got to him first. He's having a big day.
Yeah, that never gets old. And let's bring in number 95 himself, Chris. How are
What's
you?
up, boys? I'm good, man. We had a rough game on Sunday, but looking forward to Monday night game. It's gonna be fun in Indianapolis.
See, this is what I like about you, man. Is that obviously we're going to talk about the loss, but you're just always in a good mood, and we're going to start off this show with something positive. Where you were at today, you can tell us. I think Sammy, if you could show us those pictures there. Look at that. Just tell us about what you were doing at the food bank today with the Steelers.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can kind of blur out Cam's Ohio State shirt, but we were there supporting Cam and his foundation at the I think it's the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, passing out turkey and all the sides and stuff for a really nice Thanksgiving meal on Thursday for people that came through. I think there were 200 people that came through,
Nice.
and that was my first time at the food bank. I know JY, you talk about going there once a week
Yeah,
for your work.
it's a really good place. And there's just so many people in Pittsburgh. It's just a hub. I mean, the city of Duquesne. That's like I guess Kennywood's in West Mifflin, but you could throw a rock and hit it from there. But they provide the Pittsburgh community all year round. Especially in the way that everything's going right now in the economy. It's good to have people like that, and it's just awesome. See, it's bigger than football. We posted it on Yins Are Crazy today. At the end of the day, football is a game that we all love and you play. So I mean, it's just cool to see the off the field stuff too. Definitely, from the outside looking in. So
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, football obviously is what we do, and it's been my life for 20 years now. But it's allowed me to do some really cool, not only community work, but get to travel the world, all that stuff. But the community work that I get to do, especially in the city that you play in, and my hometown back in Toledo, Ohio, is probably some of the most meaningful things that I'll do in my lifetime. So it was a great event, and I appreciate Cam for having me out there.
Chris, I'm a little embarrassed. Who's the fourth in there? Is that Malik Reed? Who was that?
That was
Lamar Jones.
Jameer Jones.
Jameer Jones. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Good stuff. Jordan, you probably knew. You tagged him on Instagram, but
yeah.
okay, good stuff. Good for you guys getting out there. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to something that's that you probably don't want to talk about, but we're just gonna talk about the Bengals and recap that a little bit. The game, you lost by 7 points. What really went wrong on the defensive side of the ball?
I think it was just the little things. They didn't have too many huge plays. They didn't have we didn't turn the ball over on the offensive side of the ball, which was huge. But when it came down to it, we let number 34 Samaje Perine score 3 touchdowns out of the backfield. receiving. We, for the most part, when Mixon was in before he got hurt, we shut him down. I think they had 60 yards rushing total. And that's what I said coming into the game. That's what we needed to do, was to stop the run. We knew that Joe Burrow and the receivers were talented and skillful, but we thought that if we could stifle the run, similar to what we did that first game, that it allowed us to get after the quarterback. I think we had 2 sacks. Definitely could have had 3 or 4 more sacks. I know I missed one. I know TJ was in the backfield a bunch, but just couldn't get one. And when you look at it from just a plain, football standpoint, we just didn't win the field position game on both sides of the ball. We didn't capitalize when they were backed up. They scored, I think, a 90-yard drive. And when we put our offense in a good position, they didn't capitalize on a few of those short fields. But on the bright side, our offense scored 30 points, the most they've ever scored this whole season, which is promising. They put up points. Kenny looked confident. Kenny looked like he, for the most part, was in a good rhythm. And in my opinion, the defense let the team down. We let them score 37 points. And I think anytime an offense scores 30 points, our offense scores 30 points, we should win the game, and it really shouldn't even be a close game. But like I said, just those minor detail things, letting a running back score 3 receiving touchdowns is unacceptable in my eyes. And we were looking to stack wins. We hadn't won back-to-back games all year, and I think if we would have got that win, it would have set us on a good trajectory. Especially these next 2 games coming up. You don't want to look too far ahead, but the Colts have been struggling a little bit this year, and so have the Falcons. So I think if we could have got that game, we could have been looking at a 4-game win streak, and right back at 6-6.
Yeah, definitely. My next question was what went right, but you kind of just said, the offense put up 30 points. Kenny Pickett started, to find his rhythm. And I think that's most important. I mean, how, the critics can be. Rome wasn't built in a day, I always say. I mean, I understand the game of football enough to know that, as the season progresses, there's certain things that need fixed. And let's talk about, before I send it off the mic, let's talk about the TJ Watt interception. Like, is this guy, like, I just never seen anything like it.
It was almost the same exact play in week 1. And you would think that a team that plays us twice a year and has played TJ now 12 times in his career, that they would know not to throw those type of plays his way, because I don't know what it is. I don't know what he sees. I don't know if it's on film or if it's something that he can hear, Burrow, audibling at the line. He just knows where to be. He has that, sixth sense of football play. So if I were the Bengals, I'd advise next time we play him not to throw those short passes where TJ just kind of jumps up and gets it. But obviously he's a special player, and I just think some teams just have amnesia when it comes to the abilities of him and what he can do.
Definitely.
Yeah, listen, nobody's throwing in the terrible towel over here. We've seen Steelers teams start 0-4 in our lifetime and finish 8-8. I'll never forget that Big Ben team. We saw a Steelers team a few years back. I know Jordan will remember this. Our buddy Duck Hodges, who started the season as a 4th-string quarterback, comes in when the team is reeling and leads them 1 game out of a playoff berth. They lost that final game of the Jets that season. So as long as you're mathematically in it, who knows? We're having fun over here. Chris Wormley and Friends show, sick podcast. The Yins are crazy production as well. Chris, on to the next. Obviously, Monday Night Football in Indianapolis. First of all, just tell me about kind of the aura of playing on Monday night. I'm sure you kind of tell me some memories maybe growing up watching it. How's it feel to just play in that game and have that stage?
Yeah, I mean, definitely growing up, like my parents would let me stay up, till 11:30 at night just to watch that game, which was way past my bedtime growing up as a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. So to be able to watch those games as a kid and just lay in my bed, watch it from a 13-inch little TV in my room was always fun to watch and to just see. And then obviously as I get older, you get just to understand the rivalries that are on Monday night. I'm sure Pittsburgh and the Ravens have played a bunch of times on Monday night. So those games are always fun. It's the last game of the week, prime time, national TV. And not only are the fans all watching it, but your NFL peers are watching it. Other players are watching it. They're seeing, can the Steelers bounce back? Can the Steelers, get that fourth win and still be in the playoff hunt? Or, is Jeff Saturday going to win the job as a head coach? Like, what's he going to do in his third game as a head coach? What's that going to look like? So there's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of things that happen on Monday night, and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning are going to be chopping it up too, and their little Manning cast, which will be fun.
I watch that one every time, so I'm excited. They're so good.
They're funny. They are funny.
Yeah. I mean, because they're brothers. Like, it's.
I didn't realize Eli was that funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Not until after he was kind of reserved, like when he played.
Mm-hmm. So Monday night is huge for not only the Steelers because we need a win, but it's huge for football in general just because of national TV and everyone's got their eyes on it.
So it's polarizing, I think is the word that I'll use, Chris, this whole Jeff Saturday situation. And I do want to get your take on it. There's been so many takes, obviously, from a lot of people who are much smarter than myself. But you're somebody, obviously, who has spent just their whole life in football. How do you feel about the situation? Were you shocked? What was kind of your reaction, and how do you feel about it today?
Yeah, I think definitely shocked with my first reaction just because I didn't understand how somebody that is an ESPN analyst, obviously he's a great player, played for the Colts for so many years, could get a head coaching job like that. I didn't really understand the process in which it took, but as you start to learn a little bit more that, he was I think he was a consultant for Irsay and the Colts, and kind of had his ear to the ground on some things when it came to the Colts and that organization. You kind of get to understand a little more. Sometimes it's not how well of a coach you are, but it's kind of maybe who you know.
Sure.
And that's not just in football, but that's in life. And as I get older, I start to realize that a little bit. But maybe, I think some of those coaches on that staff might be a little frustrated, especially the ones that I think there were 3 coaches that were head coaches at one point in their career are on that staff still. That they're looking at, hey, I've been in the building since when camp started, OTAs, all that stuff. Why aren't I getting a shot at being the head coach, at least for the next 8 games or whatever it was? I know they fired some coaches, and it's an interesting situation. But we're focused on how can we get our 4th win of the year, and how can we beat the Colts. It doesn't matter to me who the head coach is or what their credentials are. We're just looking to get a win.
Talking about getting a win, obviously, sure you've been watching some tape already, catching up on these Colts a little bit. What are your thoughts? What are some keys early on here?
I mean, like I say, almost every week, it's going to start up front with us and stopping the run, and they have one of the, I guess maybe top 2, top 5 at least, top 5 running back in the NFL. I know a lot of guys got him on their fantasy team. I know he puts up a lot of points for a lot of fantasy people, fantasy players. So he's a hell of a player. Jonathan Taylor was a great player, obviously, at Wisconsin, and it's translated really well to the NFL and what he's able to do. And he gets to run behind one of the best guards in the NFL, and Quentin Nelson, which is probably a running back's dream come true when it comes to what they're able to do when they can run the ball and when they're effective at it. It opens their offense up. And when you have a guy like Matt Ryan, who's been around for a really long time, had success, MVP, went to the Super Bowl. Obviously, he's not the guy that he was, 5-10 years ago, but he still is a high-level caliber quarterback, and we have to be ready for him if and when we stop that run.
Yeah, Jordan.
We're gonna go into Worm Association.
Why not?
Let's do it.
All right, Sammy, go ahead, roll it. All right. We're going to really just jump into it. I'll give you maybe not too easy. We're going to start with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates, the Buccos, right? That's their nickname, right?
That's their nickname.
Man, I was at the stadium maybe back in July. That was my first time in it too, and it was a great stadium, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not playing so well, but they had some flashes. I think that young player is hopefully he can stick around for a long time, because I think he's
O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, he can be the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Yankees don't scoop him up, or the Dodgers, the teams with the big bucks. But beautiful stadium. The drinks were good, and you know that's the hometown team.
You
so
you
I'm
an
gonna root
IPA
for 'em.
guy? You an IPA guy?
I
You're
used to be an
you're a
IPA guy.
bourbon guy. You're a
Yeah,
bourbon guy.
I don't drink during the season, which
Yeah.
I had some people in town this past weekend, and they were drinking old fashions, and I was next to the guy,
Yeah.
and I could just smell the bourbon, and I just wanted
Mouthwater.
to take a
I
sip,
respect it.
but I'll just stick to the sparkling water. But no, man, yeah, the Pirate Stadium is great. PNC Park is a cool place. Obviously, it's right down the street from Acrisure, so drive past it, every other week at least.
Look, he
And
didn't
it's
say Heinz. Mike
I
says
know.
Mike still hasn't learned.
I was like, what is Acrisure?
You guys have been Pittsburgh lifers. You guys have been in it for 30 years when it was called Heinz
Yeah.
Field. So you guys have had a long time.
Dude, yeah,
It's been a couple years for me.
yeah.
We got to get you this shirt. This is from one of our new sponsors, Homage. Want to shout them out. We're excited to work with them. It says, if you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping. I don't want to.
There we go.
Wow, is that jumbled? This is a quote from Pittsburgh Pirates star in the 70s, Willie Stargell. You might have heard that name. They were winning a lot of games, and the media was in the locker room one day, and they were playing music like "Take over your trap," Marcus Allen type vibe, and it was a quote that he gave, and it kind of became something that was like folklore. So cool shirt, comfortable shirt.
You
Shout
might have
out
to get a
Homage.
couple of those for the boys after a win, man. I'll give them to them, and I know Marcus Allen
Yeah.
would probably be rocking one of those for sure.
They're sweet. We'll get you a couple, 100%.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So this is what Pittsburgh wants to know, Worm. Jeans or sweatpants?
Oh, sweatpants, man. Come on.
That was an easy one. I mean, I guess
I'm a big guy, and jeans for me just are maybe once a week, and that's like game day. If I'm lucky, I'll put some jeans on, but date night and game day, that's about it.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, sweatpants are the way to go. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I wore a pair of jeans, to be honest. All right. So beach or mountains?
I'm gonna have to go with beach. I've never skied or snowboarded, and I think that if I started that while I'm playing football, I'm just asking to get hurt. So
You sled ride in Toledo though. They get snow there.
There's no hill, there's no mountains though.
That's true.
This isn't Colorado or
True.
or what's the place just east of here, Silver Springs or
Yeah, I know like Vermont.
Seven
I think,
Springs.
Seven Springs.
Springs.
Yeah, but there's a lot of. All right, and we'll end it on this barbecue.
There's a place right down the street from my house here in Pittsburgh called Mitch's Barbecue,
Mhm.
and
Nice.
it is top notch, man. It's like a bar. It's like American barbecue, but then they have also like Korean fusion food, like like a barbecue ramen bowl. These barbecued bacon like bao buns. If you just want mac and cheese with brisket and ribs, I got that too.
Yeah.
It's top notch over here, but I've had some really good barbecue in Texas that'll knock your socks off as well.
There you have it.
Yeah, that's probably one thing. Ultimately, that Texas does beat Western PA, and you just got to give it up. Sometimes we can't be too PC about barbecue over here.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to wrap it up officially because we have to talk about a game. Some people will call it the game. I suppose the game is what we're talking about this Saturday. I think it's the game of the year. Maybe in any sport, honestly, at this point, outside of Steelers Colts this Monday, of course. Ohio State, Michigan, Saturday at noon. It's in Columbus. First, Chris, I just want you to talk to the viewers a little bit. Tell everybody about the Ohio State.
I don't really know what you want me to say about them.
Tell everybody about the memories you made playing in that stadium or in that game. I know we asked you last year. Maybe not everybody's watching. So.
You're bringing up a sore subject.
I know.
Yeah,
I wanted to end positive, Worm, and Mike had to throw this in there.
Okay, I'm a grown up. I can handle it. I never beat them. So that's a vivid memory in my brain.
Does Cam let you know that every day?
Yeah, I'll like bring up like, we just beat you guys, and Ohio State hasn't beat Michigan in 1,000 days, and he brings out his like 4 Big Ten championship rings, and I never lost to Michigan, and I can't say anything back. Like as much trash talk as I want to talk with Cam, like I don't have a rebuttal to that because I never beat them. So the memories aren't fond, but I can tell you that it is the greatest rivalry in all of sport. Like people from California, people from Florida, people from Alabama, when Alabama Auburn are on tonight, like this week, they're going to be watching that game because not only is it 2 versus 3, this is Ohio State versus Michigan. The history's there. It used to come down to whoever won that game won the Big Ten championship. And I mean, essentially it is kind of now, but they just had that play an extra game against the Big Ten West, who has really been struggling this year. So this is effectively the Big Ten championship. And I'm really excited for Michigan to go in there and get a win in Columbus and in the shoe that they haven't done in, I think, over 20 years. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's a noon game. It always is noon. You get it over with, and you get to go home and celebrate. So I'm excited for the boys. And I know they're looking to stack 2 of these rivalry games together.
You're not going, are you? I guess it's in the shoe.
No, I wish. We got practice on Thursday or on Saturday, and then the next day we head out for Indianapolis. So I'll definitely be tuned in watching.
Give our Michigan base some keys. How does Michigan win this game for them to pull it off?
Yeah, I think it starts up front with their offense and defensive line. That was the key last year with Haskins. I think he had 5 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Hutchinson and Ojabo, the 2 ends last year, combined, I think, for 6 or 7 sacks, something crazy like that. But this year it's going to be a little different. Those 2 aren't there. But guys like Blake Corum, who was a backup to Haskins last year, is now a Heisman candidate. And I really think that if he has a better game than C.J. Stroud this week, head-to-head matchup, I think he has a great chance of winning that Heisman. But he was banged up last week, didn't play in the second half. But if they can get him back healthy, and they can do what they've done all year and feed him the ball, and then allow J.J. McCarthy to play action pass, hit those big chunk plays down the field off of those Corum runs, I think they're going to win the game and win the game handedly.
I have a theory before we let you go. It's not a theory. My viewpoint, I guess, is a better word. I think both of these teams should make the playoffs, regardless of the outcome. I think you'd have a tough time convincing me they're not 2 of the best 4 teams in America, unless there's a 70-0 game. I think if you want to get the best 4 teams in the playoffs, these 2 have to be in it. If you want to put the most 4 deserving teams in the playoffs, then obviously it's not going to happen. It's a long shot, but that's been my perspective for a while. Not sure if you agree.
I agree. I mean, if these 2 teams were in the SEC, I think they would get in regardless. Like we've seen Georgia and Alabama 2 or 3 times now get in after just playing each other in the SEC championship. But when you look at the year that college football has had, obviously Georgia's at the top and they've been dominating all year. But then everyone else is up in the air. There's not just those 4 teams that you see every year get in. There's maybe 6 to 8 teams now that have a shot. Over these next 2 weeks, depending on how the conference championships go, you got teams, a 2-loss team like LSU. If they win the SEC championship, like what do you do with that team? Are they deserving? Do they not get in because they have 2 wins? Or if this game this weekend in Columbus comes down and whoever wins by 1 point, like does that team that just lost, do they not deserve to get in at 11-1? So there's a lot to talk about, especially from that committee standpoint, and it'll be exciting. And they got a lot to talk about, and that's why I think they're going to push forward to that 8 to 12 playoff team format, because 4 just isn't enough, especially when you have teams like TCU coming out of nowhere.
Yep.
USC, who's probably going to win the Pac-12 championship, but I think they have 2 losses. Like, what do you do with a team like that really was coming on, really well in the second half? So it's be interesting to see, but I'm super excited and super happy for this Michigan team, and I know that they're looking to get a win in Columbus and hush a lot of people's opinions and say that last year wasn't just a fluke.
2 huge games coming up. We're excited. Ohio State, Michigan on Saturday. Steelers, Colts on Monday. Big Worm, as always, thanks for the time. Stay healthy, my man.
Next week, too. Next week, if Michigan wins, we need you to throw on that 43 jersey. I know you got a few in your closet.
Man, I don't even know. I got a bunch of Michigan gear, but I think all my jerseys are like framed and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're all framed. Yeah. But I'll wrap some Michigan stuff, no doubt. Cam and I got a little wager going on, and we'll see what that looks like on Saturday evening. But I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Most importantly, good luck on Monday. Get the win. Be safe and stay healthy. We thank you again.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Worm.
Yeah, man. I mean, mathematically, we're still here. So let's just keep
still
faith
here.
We're always going to be here at Steeler Crazy. So make sure you subscribe. Another sick production. Mike, do you have any last remarks before we head off into Thanksgiving? Just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving as well.
That's it. You said it. Happy Thanksgiving. Everybody enjoy their family time and enjoy their football. Love those two combination. Nothing better than that. And wishing everybody, safe and healthy holiday season.
Yeah. Extra stuffing.
Extra stuffing. What's your favorite Thanksgiving part?
I'm a big cornbread guy, but it got to be good. It has to be hot. I can't explain it. You just got it.
I think you said the word.
Just puts me to bed, and I the turkey puts me to bed. So I try and I like to watch all the football games, so I got to do it in increments during the day because I have a bunch of places to go. And I also have a little one now, so it's going to be fun. But football and being a dad, life couldn't be better. And the Steelers, man, let's just keep it going. This is the Chris Wormley and Friends Show. I'm JY. This is Mike. Sammy, here we go.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.